This is something that I tell to everyone. You should go into an interview with enough questions to fill the entire time. So if you have a 90-minute interview, you should have enough questions on your list that you could ask questions for 90 minutes. Going back to the point of the last thing you want in an interview is get to a point where it's like, so we got anything else to talk about? Type of a thing. And I will just tell you personally, as a hiring manager, I always ask, what questions do you have? And if somebody says, I don't have any, I think I've gotten all my questions answered. Maybe it's a personal bias, probably is, but to some degree, that tells me a lot about someone as a candidate. Somebody doesn't have any questions, tells me they're not thinking deeply about the role. It tells me they aren't thinking deeply about the conversation that we just had. And this is, again, one of those things where you can prevent awkward silence by making sure that you have questions to fill that space. So I think that's such a simple one. And don't make sure your questions are thoughtful. Don't ask, do you have any pets? I mean, maybe you could if you're getting to know them on a personal level. I don't want to say there's any bad questions, but hopefully you know what I mean when I say don't just have dumb filler, small talk, how's the weather type questions. Have deep, thoughtful questions. I love when people ask me about the culture of the organization. What were some of the biggest challenges I've faced when I entered the organization? What are some of the biggest challenges I'm looking to tackle? How do I see this role fitting into the part of the larger strategy? Again, I'm showing my hand a little bit, but I'm doing it hopefully to benefit folks because I know other hiring managers, and this is the kind of stuff they look for in a candidate, is somebody who can ask questions and actually seems genuinely, not seems, but is genuinely interested in what we're trying to do as an organization or what we're trying to do with this role and how this role fits into this. And you're not going to get there if you don't ask really meaningful, thoughtful questions. So again, if you're ever curious about what kind of questions or you're really stumped, those are things you can ask. Those are things, again, DM me outside of this, ask some, what questions do you think would be really good questions? I'm happy to help with that. But this again is a skill. Asking good questions is a skill and you can build it. And you can build being a good storyteller and asking really good, thoughtful questions and engaging people in dialogue. And I will tell you right now in an interview, that is something that will make you stand out and stand above other people who are going through that process, because the honest answer is, I can just tell you from interviewing a lot of people, the majority of people in an interview are running through a checklist. Their goal is just to tell you and talk at you as much as they possibly can, instead of actually engaging you in a dialogue and in a conversation.